LA Ice Mango Boost. Discover the new flavor. It's mango season.
Without any further ado, please join me and give a Garuda welcome for the new head coach of the men's national Indonesian football team, Coach Patrick Kluivert. Coach, have a seat.
Very good. How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm very good. Thank you. Yeah.
Welcome to Indonesia. I want to take a moment, first of all, on behalf of the millions of football fans in this country, to say that we are absolutely honored and thrilled to have you joining our Timnas Indonesia and for us to be able to introduce you to everyone here today.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. And I see this kind of images explaining everything also about my team. I'm really grateful to have this opportunity, and I will do the best what I have in my mind to achieve our goals. As everybody saw, the players are on the same line. My team is on the same line, and we're going to go for it. So that's a thing that I can promise.
All right. We'll get into the X's and O's in a little bit, but first, you came and arrived in Indonesia yesterday.
Yes.
We saw the images on social media. There was a huge crowd here to welcome you. What was the first impression that you got when you first arrived here to that sort of a welcome?
Well, we came out of the airplane, and all of a sudden it was easy, with a few people around us to protect us. And we walked around, and when we came towards the exit, there it started. We came out, and all the people came out and jumped towards us. And you know, I love the passion. What I said also in the video, and it dedicates also and to see how the spirit is here in Indonesia. And I'm very grateful to get my philosophy back to the people. Absolutely.
So a lot of enthusiastic fans. But luckily, they gave you time to arrive at your hotel. You checked in. Yeah. Had yourself a big meal, I heard, yesterday night?
Yes, we had quite a big meal. I love the food, though, so that's no problem. And I can't complain.
Okay, we do know that the Dutch culture and Indonesian culture are very much entwined. Probably not your first time having Indonesian food. So no big surprises for you so far.
No big surprises.
Glad to hear it. So you've been here now this weekend, and let's just get right into it. Congratulations on being here. You're now signed on a 2-year contract with a 2-year option as well to extend. Now, this is obviously an interesting timing of it all. You are coming here in the midst of a third-round battle for us to try to qualify for the World Cup. You mentioned something interesting to me. We met earlier at lunch.
Yes.
And in regards to looking at 4 years, as opposed to just like 4 to 6 months in the qualification, you said you have more of a 2-phase plan.
Yes.
I wonder if you could just explain to the reporters and the guests in attendance.
Yes, of course. What I just said to you was that we have a 4-year plan, of course, but I build it up in 2 pieces. The first piece is to impact and to have results. Everybody knows that we're playing 4 games, 4 finals, and we want to achieve what we want to achieve. And after that, it's to build and to implement. But first, the most important thing is to have result and impact.
Okay, so that is the first phase, and that would be your first goal, to qualify us for the World Cup. In regards to the qualification and what follows after that, and say that you do achieve this goal, what would be the next phase of your plan?
Well, that's what I said. You have to build and implement the way we are going to train, the way we want to achieve the goals that we want to achieve. Also, the under-23 is also very important because in 2 years we play also the Olympics. So there's a lot of things to be done. I'm very committed, and my team is very committed to achieve every goal. And that's the mindset that we need to have all together.
Allow me a moment to
Yes.
translate some of the things that I'm saying. Yang saya nanya adalah mengenai kontrak yang Coach Patrick mendapatkan, yaitu 2 tahun dengan opsi untuk perpanjang 2 tahun lagi. Coach Patrick ini perspektifnya adalah 2, terutama dia masuk sebagai pelatih utama di ronde ketiga di kualifikasi Piala Dunia ini, di mana ada short term goal, yaitu untuk kita bisa menggarap poin dan qualify untuk Piala Dunia. Tapi itu hanya menggunakan sekitar 6 bulan. Sementara setelah itu ada implementasi untuk persiapkan tim kita untuk bisa main di Piala Dunianya. Jadi ini sebenarnya ada 2 fase, di mana fase pertama adalah meraih kemenangan, meraih poin, di mana kita bisa kualifikasi. Tapi setelah itu juga sampai 2026, nah ini adalah plan keduanya. Bukan hanya sampai 2026 di mana kita akan main di Piala Dunia, tapi setelah itu gimana kita bisa melanjutkan journey-nya untuk Olimpiade atau enggak Piala Dunia berikutnya juga. And I think this is an interesting, again as I said, an interesting timing for you to come in the middle of the 4th round. On the field, we all know that you are no stranger to pressure. You have faced international pressure, club pressure, and you have performed under pressure. In fact, on the sidelines, you've also faced pressure many, many times. But this is an interesting situation where you come into the middle of the 4th round facing Australia away on your first match, then having 2 home games that are pretty much must-win situations for us, and then our final one away to Japan. This is a very pressure situation, not just for our players, but for you as well. I'd like to know your perspective on how it feels to be in this situation and how you plan on using your experience in handling pressure to be able to help the squad be able to perform under this pressure as we try to qualify for the World Cup.
Yeah, I'm a person, I like to have pressure, and under pressure I can really perform quite well. The most important thing is that to transmit it also to the players. And of course, it is an interesting time to come in with 6 points and another 3-4 countries who have 6 points. Australia 7 points, and Japan is quite secure already for qualifying. It is a particular time, but that's football. Football, you want to be with the best. And of course, we need to transmit this to the players, and we will. And for sure, the mindset of the players are on the same level than us. And you see on the video how they want to achieve the goal, and that's the most important thing. Everybody needs to will to achieve this goal, and we need to do it together. And everybody needs to stand behind the team so we can achieve it, and everybody's happy. That's the most important thing.
Absolutely. Yang saya menanyakan Coach Patrick adalah dengan pengalaman dia yang sering menghadapi tekanan di dalam lapangan ataupun di sideline sebagai pelatih. Ini adalah sekali lagi situasi yang menarik di mana dia masuk di ronde ketiga di tengahnya dan langsung sudah menghadapi pressure untuk menggarap poin. Dan Patrick ini juga mengkonfirmasi bahwa dia tidak takut sama tekanan dan dia akan menerapkan attitude ini dan cara pemikiran ini, mindset ini ke para pemain juga untuk mereka bisa menghadapi ini bersama. Dan itu kuncinya adalah Coach Patrick ingin menghadapi situasi ini, tekanan ini bersama sebagai satu unit, di mana ada beberapa match penting ke depan, mereka akan bisa menghadapi sebagai satu tim. So let's talk a little bit about your experiences. You've coached obviously in various top European leagues. There is a lot of different experiences there in Europe that perhaps maybe our players have not faced or have not experienced. After coaching in various top European leagues, what do you anticipate are the biggest challenges that you will face that is slightly different here in Indonesia as opposed to perhaps it could be playing style, it could be football culture. What do you think are some of the challenges that you anticipate?
Well, of course, the style of play here in Indonesia is different, but I think that you can implement what you want as long as you can go in the minds of the players. And I think that we have a standard player, the thought player, to give them the information that I want and to let the players also perform on the pitch the way the best is best for the team. And I think that's the most important thing, how to transmit what we want and to transmit that to the players to achieve the goal as bright as possible.
So you feel that our team, the players on our team, have the potential to be able to adapt to any playing style as long as it's communicated properly through them?
I think so, yes.
Oke, jadi yang saya nanya adalah dengan pengalaman Coach Patrick di Eropa, apakah pengalaman ini akan membuat challenge atau tantangan untuk dia melatih tim di Indonesia ataupun lawan tim di Indonesia? Dan sepertinya menurut Coach Patrick dari perspektifnya ini tidak akan jadi masalah karena kalau komunikasinya lancar dan pemain mengerti apa bukan hanya Coach Patrick tapi tim pelatihnya yang ingin di lapangan ini akan bisa dieksekusi dengan baik. I want to talk about the local talents. I mean, you obviously have watched our national team through videos. You've seen our performances. What are some of the promising young talents that you've seen that you feel you can kind of maximize their potential now that you have a role to lead them as their leader?
Yes, of course. I'm new. I need to check also the local players, of course, because I think the local players are the heart of Indonesia. And the other players are, of course, super important. But I think we need to focus very good on the local players and check the quality of the local players, because I think that is hyper important to, implement those players as well, because you want to have also the heart of Indonesia in the team. The quality for me is the most important thing, of course, but yes, in a few weeks I will come back and I'm going to check the local players for sure.
If you feel that the local players are the heart of our national team, with the influx of the diaspora that we have, and we are planning to scout further diaspora, how do you feel their roles mesh together on our national team?
Well, we go with all to the same goal. So the local players and the diaspora players, they need to form one block, one team. And the local players are even as important as the players that come from abroad.
Right. So if the local players are the heart of the team, what would the role of the diaspora players be?
Those are also the heart, of course, because if not, they didn't do the neutralization, they wouldn't come to the Indonesian national team. So everybody is important who I call up for the national team.
Absolutely, and I agree. Menurut Coach Patrick, kepentingan pemain lokal bukan hanya dari sisi talenta, tapi pemain-pemain kita yang dilahir di Indonesia, ini adalah yang menjadi jantung dan jiwanya dari tim nasional kita. Kalau seandainya pemain lokal menjadi jantung dan jiwa dari pemain nasional, dari tim nasional kita, berarti pemain diaspora pun menjadi extension dari itu, menjadi tangan dan kakinya dari timnas ini, dan itu bisa menjadikan satu unit yang sangat baik. Let's talk a little bit about looking outwards. If we zoom out from our national team, we do know that you mentioned Japan quite ahead of us at the group. If we look forward against other teams as well, where do you think the Indonesian national team is at? Where is our level at, and what are we still lacking? In what areas are we still lacking in order for us to compete at a higher level?
Yeah, it's difficult to say because I have not been in the middle yet. So it's very difficult to say what lacking or what are you doing very good. I need to be in the team. I need to work with the team. And if we work with the team, I can say what we can do better or what's already good. So it's for me very difficult to say. Of course, you see the talented players. They have talent. And I know that we can elevate them to a different level. I know that for sure. And that's the thing, that when I work with the players, when we work with the players, they will become better players. I'm 100% sure about that.
Okay. Now, I want to get a little bit technical. I don't want to get too deep into the technicalities, but one of the many questions that everyone is so interested in is, there's a lot of, obviously Dutch football, total football. Everybody loves the Dutch style of playing football. And everybody wants to know what sort of system are you going to implement. So I will save the media one of the questions by asking you. A lot of people want to know, will you be implementing a 4-3-3? Is there a certain Dutch style of play that you will be implementing? Especially now that, as I mentioned, we do have our backs a little bit against the wall here in our next 4 matches.
You know what it is? I think the most important thing is that I like to play attack football. And I like to have the ball possession. I am familiar with all systems. I was in 2014 assistant coach with Louis van Gaal, and we played the same style that they play at the moment. Preferably, I like to play 4-3-3, but it depends where are the players also feeling comfortable in. So I'm first looking at the players, and then we implement any style. Because in football, you have slight movements, and it's the same system or it's a different system. I need to come with a surprise as well, because during when you play football, the system will change, and it's 4-3-3, 3-5-2. The most important thing is that the players understand what to do on what moment, and that's where you're going to make the difference.
Adaptability is important as well. Saya menanyakan karena yang pasti rekan-rekan media di sini juga banyak saya udah lihat di sosial media bahwa penasaran nih Coach Patrick akan memainkan formasi apa, apakah akan main 4-3-3 dan yang pasti apalagi dengan posisi kita saat saya udah lihat di sosial media bahwa penasaran nih Coach Patrick akan memainkan formasi apa, apakah akan main 4-3-3 dan yang pasti apalagi dengan posisi kita saat ini yang kita mesti bersaing untuk ngambil posisi untuk langsung kualifikasi dari ronde ketiga, coach akan menggunakan lebih style yang menyerang ya, attacking football, di mana ini juga sesuatu yang dia mengalami di bawahku bisa membantu kita menggarap poin. Because I want to also add on, you mentioned earlier as well about attacking football is something that we do need to implement because there are points for us to be able to try to get this time. It's not. It's a little bit different when we're in the number one at the top of the group and we're just trying to play defensive. We do have to score goals, correct?
If you want to win, you have to score goals, that's for sure. But you have to respect also the other countries and also the qualities of the other countries. But you need to. Your starting position is to respect your own qualities, what you have in the team, and take advantage of every positive strengths that you have in your team.
I'm glad you brought that up. One of the strengths of our team, and I'm sure many people here agree, is our back line. I think our defensive line is one of Indonesia's strengths. But in attacking football, you know, we talked about this slightly a little bit, where if you're playing attacking football, you really have to have a lot of trust in your back line.
Yes.
Is this something that you see as a benefit for us because we do have a strong defensive line, that this is something that will be benefiting your playing style?
Absolutely. It's very important to have a good back three or back four or back five. But the most important thing is that confidence with the ball, because I love to have the ball, and what Johan Cruyff always said, you can't score when you don't have the ball.
Okay. Nice, well said. Saya juga agak coba menggali sedikit mengenai taktiknya Coach Patrick, di mana seandainya Coach Patrick menerapkan style of play yang lebih menyerang, ini juga akan, kalau defensive line-nya tidak kuat, bisa menjadi sesuatu yang jadi bisa di-expose sama tim lawan. Tapi dengan backline, saya juga menyatakan bahwa saya pribadi dan saya juga yakin rekan-rekan di sini setuju bahwa lini belakang kita sangat kuat. Dan saya tanya apakah ini menjadi benefit untuk style of play-nya Coach Patrick. Dan menurut dia, yang penting sih kita saling mempercayai dengan masing. Kalau kita tidak memegang bola, kita tidak bisa mencetak gol. Dan menurut saya itu sangat logika jawabannya. Let's shift our conversation a bit because I want to give our reporters a chance to ask some questions. I want to talk a little bit about Indonesian fans. You touched on it in the beginning. That you've coached, I believe you've faced very passionate fans. What is your strategy to be able to basically convey to the team that this is your fan base. It is a huge fan base, and you need to garner this passion in order to motivate your team to be performing at the highest level.
Yes, you're right. But I think that Indonesian fans, what they showed me already, they have an extra passion. I played in a lot of countries, and I saw a lot of passionate fans. But Indonesian fans are, an extra spice, I think, and it's good. And the players know this as well. They play for their country. So the most important thing is that all the fans are standing behind the team, what they do.
Okay.
And we will manage the rest.
Alright. Saya juga menanyakan dengan pengalaman Coach Patrick melatih di berbagai negara dan di timnas Belanda, di mana fansnya juga sangat suportif. Tapi menurut Coach Patrick, fans bola di Indonesia ada di level di atas lagi, di mana kita sangat-sangat passionate dan sangat mencintai timnas kita. Tapi menurut dia ini sesuatu yang bisa diharness untuk membuat timnas kita lebih semangat. Tapi yang penting kita bisa menyatu untuk dukung timnas Indonesia. One last thing before I kind of shift, give a chance to some of our friends to ask some questions. In regards to the playing style philosophy, are you going to try to garner some of the local players? You mentioned earlier that you will try to kind of get to know some of the local players.
Yes.
Are you planning on making some visits perhaps, or perhaps talk with some of the local players? What is your plan going forward?
Well, for sure. This evening I already have a dinner planned with 5 local players.
Okay.
To get to know them a little bit better. So that's already the beginning. And for sure next month I'm planning to come back here in Indonesia and to see more of the grassroots here in Indonesia.
So you'll be visiting other areas as well?
Of course, yes.
Okay, so saya nanya ke Coach Patrick gimana caranya untuk Coach bisa lebih mengenali pemain lokal ataupun mungkin kultur bola di Indonesia, dan Coach Patrick malam ini aja sudah ada rencana untuk bertemu dengan 5 pemain lokal kami dari Timnas Indonesia, dan setelah sebulan kemudian dia akan kembali lagi ke Indonesia untuk tur ke beberapa kota dan bagian di Indonesia untuk lebih memperkenali diri dengan tim-tim, pemain-pemain di berbagai daerah, bukan hanya di ibu kota tapi di luar daerah juga, untuk memperkenalkan diri dan juga lebih mengetahui pemain-pemain lokal dan apa aja yang terjadi di dunia sepak bola di luar ibu kota. One last quick thing. You have played with several, to say the least, world-class players, and obviously you are one of them. What interesting prospects, and I know you might not be able to tell me too much about this, but there's been many rumblings about, I wonder who Coach Patrick will be able to convince to come to Indonesia. Have there been any kind of discussions with anyone? Perhaps you can give us a bit of a teaser or heads up as to what's been happening lately in regards to possible diasporas joining our squad.
I don't know if I can tell it, Mr. President. But well, I personally have been speaking with a few players who can be naturalized to Indonesian passport and everything. So I don't know if I need to say a name, but I am busy with it. I can say one name perhaps. It's Jair Ridawal. Speaking with him, and we're trying to get him naturalized as soon as possible.
Okay, and I think that is one of the obviously
one of the could be more. Eh?
Hopefully, and because there's been many names thrown out there, many of us want to know who they are, but obviously that is going to be in your hands and your coaching staff. Yes. Yang saya tanya, yang pasti banyak teman-teman di sini juga penasaran mengenai diaspora. Sudah ada banyak berita simpang siur mengenai kira-kira siapa yang akan bergabung yang berikutnya di Timnas Indonesia. Yang pasti coach tidak bisa membocorkan banyak nama, tapi sudah sedang ada beberapa obrolan yang berjalan dengan pemain-pemain di luar yang ada kemungkinan bisa bergabung sama Timnas Indonesia.